Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about effective pupil and let's start with the definition.
Effective pupil, this is a person who trying to learn something by videos, by books, by visiting some lectures. And if you are just listening, you will find that in 2 or 3 days you'll lost like a half of information or even more. But if you're writing conspect, if you are trying to remember, if you're trying to say it for yourself, when you make small tasting of your knowledge, you will find that this curve of forgetting will go higher and you will know much more than, for example, 60% or 80% is quite good. Second, if you could implement this knowledge in your life, because, for example, I will tell you, you are going with your wife or with your girlfriend on the car and suddenly you ask her to learn how to get somewhere, and this girl will come to you and say, okay, now I know how to drive, but after several turns she will say, now I don't know how to go on. So the effective pupil will know not just several close steps but all the way to your aim. And third, when you're trying to learn something, you should go by chain. First, you know, and you could repeat. Second, you think and rethink, and then you could use and implement.
And when it comes to the education process, is it necessary that effective pupil would have effective teacher, or those things are orthogonal and one not depend on another?
You know, to be honest, I don't think so. For example, I was living in a small village. It was quite huge by my meanings, but it was total 5,000 people. But when I was moving to Kiev, as the capital of Ukraine, it was like 2.5 million people, so much more. And when I was trying to go on exams, I was find them very hard. And I would never say that I was having lazy teachers or maybe they were unqualified. You could go always to the library. Or for example, I will say exactly your example. On the theory of algorithms, you take several algorithms and you write an article about them. And these algorithms are not easy for especially Huffman code, but you spend a lot of time and maybe it's sorry, but maybe you just one person who understand deeply because you done it by yourself from 0 to 1.
And when it comes to the mindset of the pupil who wants to be efficient, what kind of habits, what kind of things they need to have in their head or brain in order to understand, oh, at a certain point of time, I need to be efficient to achieve something or to be able to do something. So what are the basis for the efficient pupil?
First, you should understand what you will do for a living, and you will forced to do this much better than all other to gain more money. Because if you have money, you could live, you could have family, you could feed your children. A lot of people they are not able to change country, to change their job, to change their bosses because they afraid to lose a job. They do not expect to find a new one. So you should be so effective in learning to find job easily and to switch to another company. Second, you could find something which is unusual for your colleagues, for your team, for your boss, and learn, for example, another language or some other stuff to help, which will help you to become unique in your company. Maybe no one uses Microsoft Excel, or maybe no one uses project, or maybe no one is able to speak in Chinese, and suddenly you will provide your services and you will be like a shining star or greatest diamond in the crown. And third, you should understand that if there are any knowledge is to be gained hardly, maybe it is worth to go. You know, there are several mountains on our planet, and among them is Everest. And for any alpinist, it is a great honor to be on the top. But in job, in knowledge, it would be just the same. If you know much more than other, you build your own mountain of your knowledge.
Well, I do believe some people really deliberately might not be choosing so high mountains because there is also a comfort in staying at the flat area as well. But I guess there is a question that probably parents would ask if they were here. So they might be asking like, okay, but what kind of things we need to do in order for our kids to actually be the efficient one so that, it's not really hard for them, but we make sure we did our best for our lovely child so that they can do whatever they can with the skills they possess.
To be honest, this is a very sad story. You know, it was several years ago, maybe 10 or 8. Suddenly, I found that I already accumulate a huge databases, but the usage of them was less than 2%. The same, I would say, with your brain. You will learn a lot of different things. You will read a lot of books, but sometimes you need a very small piece of information. And if it is in your head, you will be the winner. If you will not have this, you will be the loser. So the sad part of the story about effective people, you should know like 50 times more than you need to be applicable to be best of others. And if you could give advice to the parents, one of them is to feed their child with books, but not with any kind of books, but with particular books. This like dictionaries, this like for example, how to say словарь юного химика, dictionary of a young chemist,
That's pretty much correct.
something like this.
So in order to strategize, in order to build a program for efficient pupil, what kind of a things they also need to consider so that they don't not only think about like a 1 week or 1 month, but like for something longer. So how they should approach it?
Several people who are now attending School of Troubleshooters, they already have 3 or even 4 education, full high education. And for sure, they will have success, not because they're lucky, because they know law, because they know economics, because they know psychology, because they know, for example, programming. You should understand, if you will stand on one hand, it is a very, very unstable position, and someone could touch you and you will fall down. But if you have, for example, 4 legs like a cow, you will stand on the ground and you will be very stable.
Теперь мы знаем, сколько именно ног нашей табуретки знаний нам нужно иметь, чтобы быть стабильными. А мы рассмотрели навык «Эффективный ученик» и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!